Good morning students. This is my lecture number 2 for chapter number 2, The Tiger King, for class 12 subject English. Children, in my first lecture of the same chapter, I taught you about the Tiger King. Let's recall what was taught in lecture number 1 of the same chapter. This chapter is about the Maharaja Sir Jilani Jung Bahadur, who was called the Tiger King. When he was just 10 days old, he asked intelligent questions to the astrologers and was told that he would be killed by a tiger. And that 10 days old boy uttered, "Let tigers beware." But when he was 20, he was crowned as king. It was then the prediction of his death by the tiger reached the Maharaja's ear, and he in turn, to safeguard himself, killed a tiger, and being thrilled he told the astrologer, who replied that he could kill 99 tigers but he should be careful with the 100th one. Then the Maharaja pledged that all the other affairs of the state would be attended after killing the 100 tigers. Then he started killing tigers from that very day. None except Maharaja was allowed to hunt tigers in Pratibandhpuram. Once a high-ranking British officer visited the state that was also fond of hunting tigers, and his wish was declined by the Maharaja. The officer requested for getting a photograph with a tiger killed by Maharaja, but this request was also rejected. So to please the officer's wife, he sent 50 diamond rings, expecting that she would take one or two. Instead, she kept all the rings costing 3 lakhs rupees and sent thanks to the Maharaja. But his estate was secured. In 10 years, the Maharaja could kill altogether 70 tigers in the state of Pratibandhpuram. And after that, the tiger population in the states of Pratibandhpuram got extinct. Therefore, the Maharaja decided to marry a girl from royal state which had more tigers to complete his target. Whenever he visited in his in-laws' estate, he killed 5-6 tigers there. And there altogether he could kill 29 tigers. And now, children, we would proceed further with the second part of the chapter, the Tiger King. After killing 29 tigers in his father-in-law's kingdom, the Maharaja killed altogether 99 tigers, and now he was searching for the last, the 100th tiger to be killed. The Maharaja's anxiety reached a fever pitch when there remained just one tiger to achieve his tally of 100. He had this one thought during the day and the same dream at night. By this time, the tiger farms had run dry even in his father-in-law's kingdom. Now it became almost impossible for the Maharaja to locate any other tiger anywhere. Then he reminded the prediction of the chief astrologer that told him even after killing 99 tigers, the Maharaja should beware of the 100th. True enough it was. The tiger was a savage. Savage means wild beast after all. One had to be very much careful for it. But the Maharaja sank in gloom because it became almost impossible for the Maharaja to find one more tiger to complete the tally of 100 tigers. But his gloom ended very soon. Soon the Maharaja got a good news. What was that? It was told by some villagers to the Maharaja that they had seen one tiger in the jungles. The villagers informed the Maharaja that there was a sheep disappeared from the jungle, so definitely there would be one tiger that is disappearing sheep from the jungles of Pratibandhpuram. This news made Maharaja very happy. Then the Maharaja announced that a 3-year exemption from all the taxes will be given to the village, and he would go to set out on the hunt at that very moment only. Therefore, the Maharaja started moving towards the jungle from where the news came. The tiger was not easily found there. It seemed as if it had wantonly hid itself in order to thwart the Maharaja's will. The Maharaja was equally determined. He refused to leave the forest until the tiger was found. Therefore, the Maharaja decided to stay in that very jungle day and night. As the days passed, the Maharaja's fury and obstinacy mounted alarmingly. And one day, his rage was at its height. Rage means anger. The Maharaja called the Diwan and he ordered him to double up the land tax for all the villagers there. Then the people became very discontented with the Maharaja. The Diwan started feeling bad for the decision taken by the Maharaja. The Maharaja told the Diwan that he would definitely ask all the British officers as well as the people at high post to resign from their services and even the Diwan to resign from his job if the Maharaja would not be able to find the last tiger to be killed by him. The Diwan went home convinced that if the Maharaja did not find the tiger soon, the results could be catastrophic. Catastrophic means disastrous. Due to the fear of losing his own job, finally the Diwan arranged for the 100th tiger. He decided to sacrifice for his own pet tiger to satisfy the Maharaja. He thought now he would drop his own pet tiger which he brought from the People's Park in Madras and kept hidden in his house for many years. At midnight, he, along with his wife, dragged that old tiger to the car and pushed it roughly into the seat. The Diwan himself drove the car straight to the forest where the Maharaja was hunting. There, the Diwan was thoroughly exhausted in his efforts to drag the beast out of his car and push it down to the ground. Then, the next morning, the Maharaja was informed that there a wandering tiger had been seen by someone. The Maharaja felt very happy. He reached the place and took carefully aim at the beast. The tiger fell in a crumpled heap. He crashed into many folds. The Maharaja was overjoyed after killing that tiger and he declared that his vow had been fulfilled. The Maharaja was overcome with the elation. Elation means joy and excitement, and he ordered his people to bring the dead skin of that tiger to the capital in grand possession. After the Maharaja left, the hunters went to take a closer look at the tiger. The tiger looked back at them, rolling its eyes in bafflement. The men realized that the tiger was not dead. They found it alive because the Maharaja's bullet had missed it. It had fainted from the shock of the bullet whizzing past. The hunters wondered what they should do now. They decided that the Maharaja must not come to know that he had missed his target. If he did, they could lose their jobs. One of the hunters took aim from a distance of 1 foot and shot the tiger. This time, he killed it without missing his mark. Finally, the last tiger, the 100th tiger, was killed by one of the hunters of the Maharaja, but not by the Maharaja himself. Now, we will proceed to the 100th tiger's revenge. After killing that tiger in the jungle, the Maharaja came back to his kingdom, and as commanded by him, the dead tiger was taken in procession through the town and buried. A tomb was erected over it. Erected means raised. A few days later, the Maharaja's son's 3rd birthday was celebrated. Until then, the Maharaja had given his entire mind over to tiger hunting. This time, the Maharaja decided to gift something to his 3-year-old child on his birthday. He went to the shopping center in Pratibandhpuram and searched every shop, but couldn't find anything suitable. Finally, the Maharaja spotted a wooden tiger in a toy shop and decided it was the perfect gift for his 3-year-old boy. The wooden tiger cost only 1 anna and a quarter, but the shopkeeper knew if he quoted such a low price to the Maharaja, he would be punished under the rules of emergency. Therefore, that shopkeeper told the Maharaja that it was an extremely rare example of craftsmanship, a bargain of 300 rupees. The Maharaja felt very happy. He brought that gift for his son at home and he started playing with his son and that tiny little wooden tiger. It had been carved by an unskilled carpenter. Its surface was rough. Tiny slivers of wood stood up like quills all over it, and one of those slivers means thin pieces of wood, pierced the Maharaja's right hand, and he pulled it out with his left hand and continued to play with the prince. But the next day, infection flared in the Maharaja's right hand. In 4 days, it developed into a flowing of pus which spread all over the arm. Then 3 famous surgeons were brought in from Madras. After holding a consultation, they decided to operate on the Maharaja. The operation took place. The 3 surgeons who performed it came out of the theatre and announced the operation was successful and the Maharaja is dead. In this manner, children, the 100th tiger took its final revenge upon the Tiger King. In such a manner, the Tiger King reached to its end. And actually, children, let's conclude this story. The story of Kalki is a satire on the conceit of those in power. And Kalki has employed the literary devices of dramatic irony to prove the same satire onto the conceit of those in power. Actually, children, this chapter teaches us that we need a new system for the age of ecology. A system which is embedded in the care of all the people and also in the care of the earth and all life upon it. Thank you. This is the end of lecture 2. Now, I'll assign you homework of the day. You people are supposed to answer the questions given in read and find out box on page number 14 and 15. Also, you are supposed to answer question number 1 and 5 given on page number 17 in your supplementary reader. Thank you. This is the end of the lecture. Have a nice day.